This is Speederman here once again with another film review for you guys. And this time I'm reviewing an experimental black and white film from 2017 called Flesh of the Void. Now, let's talk about Flesh of the Void. So, Flesh of the Void is pretty much a collection of pretty explicit scenes, say controversial, I guess, and it kind of has like a Begotten vibe. If you guys ever seen that movie Begotten, or maybe along the lines of the film Eraserhead, maybe Singapore Sling. If you've seen those type of films, this is kind of like that. But let's talk about like the how the film looks and the visual style. So this film has a really it was shot on was it 8 millimeter, 16 millimeter film, and it has a very grainy look to it. It's very slow paced, and I feel like they could have cut back on the like special effects of the film because like the way the movie starts, it just starts off with like the whole grainy feel to it, and it just not a lot of stuff really happens in the movie up until Act 3. So this movie is divided into like Act 1, Act 2, there's like an interlude, then Act 3, and then there's like an epilogue. So nothing really happens, until Act 3, like the controversial scenes and, the really messed up scenes in the film. And yeah, that's really bad for this film. That's one of the things I didn't really like because you're watching the film and like the first time I watched this film, I fell asleep. Like I really did. I think I only lasted like 15 minutes. So this is one of those films that you have to really fast forward uh, to get to I guess the good stuff or the interesting stuff. I guess the controversial scenes. I mean, there's a couple scenes in here that were, might be disturbing to some viewers, but even with that, I feel like, yeah, a lot of film was wasted on this film, a lot of time. And I did like some of the shots in the film, but also, like, the camera work was pretty bad because, I mean, you would always see these shots where the camera zooms in and then it kind of gets blurry, and then the camera zooms out and in and out and in, and it kept happening, and I kind of really got annoyed by that. Um, there's no dialogue in the film, so it's one of those silent black and white art house exploitation films. Um, and well, actually, there's some dialogue like in the beginning, but it's very bad. It tries to be like dark and ominous and creepy, but it's really laughable. Like I find myself really laughing at just how bad the voiceover was, and I mean, it really comes off as a film that's really trying really hard to shock you, you know. But I mean, I'm gonna give it some credit because after all, this is an underground film, and you don't really expect much from these type of films. But I mean, it wasn't all bad, but it does require some patience to even watch the whole film. A lot of people won't have the patience to watch the whole film, but it's one of those films that if you stick with it, there are some scenes that will, maybe shock some people. But if you're like one of those people that are desensitized, you'll probably be like, okay, not gonna really have a reaction to this film. But I mean, I made it through. I watched it, and kind of glad I watched it. So at the end of the day, what do I give this film? Honestly, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. And it's hard to recommend this film to anybody because, I mean, unless you're into these type of films, you still might find better films than this, of this type of genre. But if you're curious enough, I guess I can recommend it. I guess if you're a fan of Begotten, or films like that, I guess I could recommend this film. And you want to see, what you can handle, I guess. But there are better films in this, more disturbing films in this. But it's worth checking out. Check it out, and you know. But like I said, it requires a lot of patience, and you might fall asleep like I did the first time watching this film. So yeah, might require some repeat viewing. I don't know, but yeah, it was interesting though. So yeah, guys, that's what I thought about Flesh of the Void. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next video. All right, peace.